Imagine this. You're driving across America, hours of highway stretching endlessly ahead. The radio fades into static, the gas needle dips low, and just when you think the road has nothing left to give, there it is. A giant ball of twine, a castle made of corn, a muffler man towering over the trees. Some roadside attractions are funny, some are eerie, and some leave you wondering who on earth thought this was a good idea. But together, they form a secret map of America's strangest spirit. The things we build not because we need them, but because we want to believe the road can still surprise us. So buckle up, we're going coast to coast, 50 states, 50 bizarre and beloved roadside stops. And I promise you this, the final stop might just leave you questioning whether America is one big art project hiding in plain sight. Alabama, Big Chair. Alabama, the world's largest office chair. In Anniston stands a massive 33-foot-tall office chair made of steel. Locals call it the Big Chair, and when you stand beneath it you feel like a toy. But the real question is, why did anyone think Alabama needed the biggest chair on Earth? Maybe it's proof that even furniture can be legendary. Alaska, the Igloo City Hotel. Deep in the wilderness off the park's highway sits a giant abandoned igloo-shaped hotel. Its windows are shattered, doors chained shut, and snow drifts against its sides. It was meant to be a tourist lodge, but never opened. Now it's a frozen ghost that every traveler slows down to stare at, wondering what could have been. Billboards across the desert whisper about the thing. You follow the signs, curiosity gnawing at you until you reach a dusty roadside museum, and there, inside a glass case is, well, you'll have to see it. Some say it's a mummified body, others say it's a hoax. Either way, Arizona proves that the promise of mystery is sometimes more powerful than the reveal. Shaped like a flying saucer, this roadside home in Bella Vista looks like it crash-landed decades ago. Tourists still pull over, hoping to see little green men peek from the windows, but instead, you're left with silence, and the uncomfortable thought that maybe it's not abandoned after all. In the desert near Slab City, a mountain painted in rainbow colors declares God is love. Built by one man with clay, hay, and gallons of paint, it's half art project, half shrine. Standing in the crowd of wanderers who gather here, you wonder, was this madness or the purest vision of devotion America has ever seen? Out in Fruita, Colorado, there's a bronze statue that commemorates a chicken who, believe it or not, lived for 18 months without its head. Folks still gather every year for what they call Mike the Headless Chicken Day. Yeah, it sounds pretty bizarre, but maybe, just maybe, it's America's way of celebrating survival against all odds, even when logic says you really shouldn't still be standing. Up on a hill in Waterbury, Connecticut, you'll find the remains of a crumbling religious theme park, miniature Bethlehem, a tiny Jerusalem, and crosses that tower over broken pathways. It was once a bustling attraction, but now, honestly, it feels kind of eerie, almost haunted. Standing there you start to realize that faith and spectacle once blended here, leaving behind ruins that sort of whisper their own strange gospel. At Dover International Speedway in Delaware, there's this 46-foot concrete monster clutching a car in its hand. Its glowing red eyes seem to follow you as you walk past, and, well, it's a little unsettling. Originally built as a mascot, Miles the Monster feels more like a warning. In Delaware, even the Speedway has teeth. In Homestead, there's this mysterious coral rock garden. Walls, chairs, and towers, all carved by one man, Edward Leeds Kalnin. He claimed he knew the secrets of the pyramids, and somehow, he moved these giant stones all by himself, only at night. Scientists, honestly, still don't know how he did it. Standing in the crowd, you really feel like you've stumbled into a riddle the state never solved. South of Atlanta, a giant smiling peanut statue greets drivers. It's simple, it's goofy, and yet in peanut country, it's kind of sacred. But here's the suspense. The original was actually destroyed by a storm. Locals rebuilt it, bigger and prouder than before. Proof, I guess, that even nuts can have 9 lives. On Oahu, the Dole Plantation offers the world's largest pineapple-shaped maze. Families wander for hours, laughing, sometimes getting a little frustrated, just trying to find the exit. But if you stand still in the center with the scent of pineapples in the air, you can't help but wonder, is this maze just fun, or is it a metaphor for every traveler who comes to Hawaii trying to find their way? So, Idaho Dog Bark Park Inn. It's a hotel shaped like a giant beagle. Yes, you actually sleep inside the dog. Built by chainsaw artists, this roadside inn really proves that Idaho doesn't just grow potatoes, it grows imagination. But you know, when the lights are out and you hear creaks in the walls, you can't help but feel watched. Illinois, the world's largest catsup bottle. In Collinsville, a 170-foot water tower shaped like a ketchup bottle looms over the highway. Locals call it kitsch, travelers call it unforgettable. But honestly, the real thrill is standing beneath it, realizing you're actually smaller than a condiment. Indiana, the world's largest ball of paint. In Alexandria, a baseball covered in 30,000 layers of paint weighs thousands of pounds. Visitors add new coats one by one. And as you stand there with a brush, you realize you're part of its story now, forever trapped in the layers. Along Interstate 80, this city for truckers has showers, a movie theater, and even a barbershop. But you know, the strangest part isn't what's inside, it's the sense of scale. Standing in the food court, surrounded by truckers from everywhere, you realize Iowa's oddity is size itself, an empire of asphalt. In Lucas, one man covered his yard in concrete sculptures, biblical scenes, political satire, personal visions of heaven and hell. The Garden of Eden feels less like art and more like a diary carved in stone. And when you walk through the garden alone, you wonder what stories your yard would tell if it could. Rows upon rows of ventriloquist dummies stare at you with glassy eyes, some smiling, some frowning. It's funny at first, until you're the only one in the room. Then it feels like they're waiting. Kentucky may have bourbon, but its strangest legacy is wood and cloth that never blink. Part folk art, part junkyard carnival, the Abita Mystery House is a maze of homemade inventions, odd sculptures, and strange dioramas. In one room, a dodge-a-gator, half dog, half alligator. In another, walls plastered with bottle caps. The longer you wander, the more you realize the mystery isn't what's inside, but why it feels like it makes perfect sense. So there it is, America, coast to coast, one weird stop at a time. A land where giants rise from cornfields, chickens live without heads, and abandoned igloos whisper in the snow. But here's the thought I'll leave you with. Maybe these odd attractions aren't accidents. Maybe they're a reminder that no matter how far the highways stretch, the road will always find a way to surprise you. And now the question, if you could stop at just one, which would it be?